Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Tech News. Today we bring you some stories from CES 2021. In the field of robotics, Cornell University, also a CES exhibitor, has a research team that has developed tiny microscopic robots that could someday be used to investigate the human body from the inside. Each robot is about 5 microns thick and about 40 microns wide. If you're wondering what a micron is, it's about a millionth of a meter. If you're wondering what a meter is, it's a unit of spatial measurement that is used by most countries because it is scientific and it makes sense. These robots have been designed to operate in various environments, including those of extreme temperature and extreme acidity. They even have tiny little legs the size of just a few dozen atoms. Itai Cohen, professor of physics at the Cornell University, gave us a few examples of how these devices might be used in the future. One such example was how these tiny micro robots could be deployed inside the human body to a part of the body that was too sensitive for regular surgery. The robots may then be able to sense a chemical exuded by, say, a tumor and proceed to form a polymeric wrap around said tumor to effectively stop its growth. Currently, however, the project is in very early stages of development and the team is busy reading as much science fiction as they can for further inspiration, I'd imagine. The US FDA has cleared its first ever video game to be used in the treatment of ADHD in children between the ages of 8 and 12. The game itself has been developed by a company called Akili, most notably known for not developing Cyberpunk 2077. Gamers will get that reference. And the game itself is called Endeavor RX. Exciting! Go marketing team. The clinical trials involved using the game for a period of 25 minutes a day for 5 days a week. And after the first month, over half the parents reported clinically meaningful results. And more tellingly, after 2 months of usage, over 68% of the parents reported the same. The effects and the improvements to daily impairments were recorded to have lasted for about a month. Presumably, this means that the game will have to be used on a regular basis to help the child. Either that, or what I personally prefer to believe is the children have found a way to fool their parents into getting them to play the video game more. Now that is cool. In other news from the CES this year, LG's keynote teased their rollable display technology, which they plan to use in their cell phones this year. However, if you actually search for the term OLED R, LG's own website will bring up an article about their rollable TV that they introduced in last year's CES, the one in 2020. The TV brings together the concepts of OLED, which brings you better contrast ratios and deeper blacks, along with the convenience of a rollable display. Presumably, you could just roll your display away after you're done watching it. With LG now teasing the same rollable technology for handheld phones, we can assume that LG is pretty serious about bringing this tech in our not too distant future. In fact, LG President and CTO IP Park said of this device, "We're hoping to see it out in the market this year." There you have it. Rollable displays coming to you. Don't buy the first generation, chaps. Don't fall for that. Wait. Don't be beta testers. In fact, don't be alpha testers, which is probably what you'll end up being if you buy this product straight off the bat. But still, very cool. However, I would say the best thing about the keynote this year was LG's refrigerator. That's right, not the TV or the phone or the oh so many air purifiers they seem to have advertised. It's the fridge. You know why? Because it has a slightly larger displaying window. No, I'm just kidding. It's because the fridge can make ice in 3 different ways. Yeah, that is where technology should be focusing on. Ice in different ways. So now not only do you get the usual ice cubes, but you also get crushed ice in the front for those margaritas. And the new fridge actually has the ability to create those round ice balls that you have in your local hipster bar. So now you can make your fancy Manhattans and old fashions at the convenience of your home. Mixologists rejoice. In more depressing news is the IT firm SolarWinds, most infamously known for the security breach that it suffered that went undetected for months on end. For those of you who don't know, SolarWinds is a Texas-based IT firm that provides IT resource management software for a myriad of companies, including very well-known Fortune 500 companies such as Microsoft and also top-level branches of the US government. The company was subject to a cyber attack that has since spread to its clients and remained undetected for months. Reportedly, this breach allows hackers to spy on various companies, some of which are key players in the cybersecurity space, and also upper echelons of the US government. We're talking the Pentagon, the Department of Homeland Security, and the Treasury Department. Reuters reported that the hack was deemed serious enough to warrant a National Security Council meeting at the White House on Saturday. Ironically, the hack was transmitted to the company's clients via one of their regular security update patches. This kind of hack is called a supply chain attack for obvious reasons. Up to 18,000 customers are said to be at risk, making this hack pretty darn big, maybe even huge. More even than Donald Trump's hands. That's a dead meme. That's a jaded reference. Just moving on, the US government has not publicly identified any culprits at this time. However, high-level officials have been reported to have pointed fingers at the Russian government for interference. The Russian Foreign Ministry in turn has described these allegations as unfounded and baseless. What's most puzzling to me is they decided to do so on a Facebook post. Yeah, that happened. Another big IT firm you may know, Google, is repurposing its radar technology codenamed Project Soli. The technology was first introduced as a motion sensor technology in the Google Pixel 4. Basically, it's an array of sensors at the top of the phone that allows it to sense fine gestures, allowing you to control the phone and its functions via gesture control. The feature itself has not been a big hit among the consumers and therefore is being repurposed into a smart display type of technology that sits presumably on your nightstand and allows Google to provide you with sleep tracking technology. That's right. So now Google can listen and watch you while you are asleep. Yay! That's what we've always wanted. In more uplifting news, Richard Branson's Virgin Orbit finally lived up to its name by, finally reaching orbit. Last year's test saw the rocket do the exact opposite of a premature release. It prematurely just, shut down and refused to take part in any further activity. I can only imagine the frustration of the scientists and the engineers involved. Only imagine. On Sunday, the 17th of January, the company's Launcher 1 rocket was dropped from the underside of a Boeing 747 that was specially modified for this purpose. The Boeing 747, in fact, was called Cosmic Girl. Once Cosmic Girl was up at about 35,000 feet over the Pacific, she let go of Launcher 1, and Launcher 1 in turn fired up one of its own Newton 3 engines and soared above the atmosphere and into space, thus escaping the gravitational pull that is social media. Once in space, it released its payload of 10 tiny little satellites for NASA into orbit around Earth. Obviously, the company then announced this development via Twitter. That's mostly it for the tech news today, but before I leave you, I'd like to bring your attention to what is probably one of the most delightful headlines I have read in a long time. In a paper called The Hindu in India, there's an article reporting on the studies of the Indian Institute of Science. The article headline read as follows: Tiny worms can make complex travel decisions when hitchhiking. IISC study. I'm going to leave the link in the description below for you to follow up, but that's got to be one of the best headlines I have ever read. I have no idea what these researchers are actually doing, but I really, really hope that they're having a lot of fun doing it. It certainly looks like that to me. Till the next episode, thank you for tuning in. I will see you there. Stay happy, stay peaceful, stay colorful.